So this is going to be a guided walkthrough for the rail fence challenge from the picoCTF platform. It's a medium level challenge in the cryptography category from the picoCTF 2022 event. The description says, a type of transposition cipher is the rail fence cipher, which is described here. Here is one such cipher encrypted using the rail fence with 4 rails. Can you decrypt it? Download the message here. It says put the message in the picoCTF flag format, which is picoCTF and then decoded message in the middle over here between these curly braces. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to download the message. So this is message.txt. We're going to right click and copy the link. Then we're going to go over to our web shell. In the web shell, we're going to create a little directory to work inside of. So this is going to be rail fence. And then we're going to enter the directory. And then we're going to download the file. So it's just wget and then paste in the file location here. Hit enter. Now that the message is downloaded, we're going to read it. So we're going to use the cat command to read the message. And this is the message over here. So it's going to be everything up until your username over here. So there's actually a very easy way to solve this this rail fence cipher. But let's first talk about the rail fence cipher. So let's go back to the challenge. So there's a description for the rail fence cipher at the link over here in the challenge. So if we take a look here, it says that the rail fence cipher, also known as the zigzag cipher, is a classical type of transposition cipher. It derives its name from the manner in which the encryption is performed in analogy to a fence, but with horizontal rails. So if we take a look here, so in the rail fence cipher, the plaintext is written downwards diagonally on successive rails of an imaginary fence, then moving up when the bottom rail is reached, and then down again when the top rail is reached, and so on, until the whole plaintext is written out. The ciphertext is then read off in rows. For example, to encrypt the message, "We are discovered, run at once," with 3 rails, write the text as this. So it's basically writing the message without spaces, and then you're basically moving between these rails over here until you get to the end of the message. So it says here spaces and punctuations are omitted, then read off the text horizontally to get the ciphertext. So the first line is this, the second line is this, and the third line is this. And the message "we are discovered, run at once" becomes this message over here. So it's basically the same, these are the same characters, but the order in which we read the characters is jumbled up by doing this kind of encryption here. So there's an easy way to solve rail fence ciphers, and if we go over to Google and we do rail fence cipher decode, then we can actually find this link over here from the decode.fr website, which says rail fence zigzag cipher. So we can click into that. And I've solved this before, but basically in this online tool you can paste in the rail fence ciphertext here, and what you need to do is you need to specify the number of rails or the rows that is being specified here. So this is actually mentioned in the challenge itself. So in the challenge here, here's one cipher encrypted using the rail fence with 4 rails. So there's 4. This is not the right one. This is the article. Which article are we looking at? This one. So the number of rails are basically the number of rows over here. And they said that there were 4 of them. So this is something we have to specify when we want to use this automated tool. So the number of rails is going to be 4. We need to set this, and then we click on the button, Decrypt Rail Fence. So click on it, and then you're going to see the message illustrated over here. So the flag is something, something, something. And so it says here that the decrypted message is, the flag is, where does the fence begin and end? So we can copy this decoded message and then go back to picoCTF, and then in the rail fence challenge here, paste in the flag, but we need to format this correctly. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this in curly braces, and we're going to add the picoCTF wrapper, the prefix rather, which is picoCTF. So the flag should look like this: picoCTF, curly brace, where does something something, and at the end there's the closing curly brace. Click on Submit Flag, and it says, "Hooray, you solved the challenge." Okay, all right. So we used an automated tool to solve that challenge. Anyways, so let's talk about using a Python script to solve this challenge. So let me get the Python script. This one is actually a bit complicated, but let's so over back at the web shell, we're going to create a Python file. This one's going to be called railfence.py. Okay, and then we're going to paste in our Python code. So the Python code in this case, it's a little complex, but let's see if we can work our way through the code and see what it's doing. So first of all, we're going to create a function here. It's going to be called railFenceDecrypt. It's going to take in 2 parameters, so the ciphertext and the number of rails involved. So we're going to decrypt a ciphertext encrypted using the railFence cipher with the specified number of rails. So we've got the encrypted string, and we've got the number of rows, otherwise known as rails, used for encryption. So what's going on in this Python script? So first of all, we need to calculate the pattern for the rail fence. So rail pattern is going to be index of an index for something in range number of rails. So I'm not exactly what is going on with all this indexing, but I do understand that we're trying to create a pattern for the rail fence cipher to put the text inside of. So we're going to create an empty structure to mark the pattern. So the pattern. Okay, so it's going. This seems like some sort of a programming challenge. This. Anyways, so what it's going to do for each character in the range for the length of the ciphertext, the pattern is going to be the index of the rail, and then it's going to move in a direction of the rail. So it's going to move up. It's going to move down in the rail, and then if the rail equals 0, or the rail is number of rails minus 1, then it's going to shift direction. So first it's going to go down, and then it's going to go up. And then it's going to extract the characters for each rail. So I will admit that this Python code is a bit complicated for me, but I'm gonna trust that the function does what it's supposed to do, and then finally what it's going to do is it's going to join whatever characters that it translates over to the plain text, and then afterwards we're going to define our main function here. The encrypted string is going to be the string that we were provided. The number of rails is also the number of rails that we were provided. And then the decrypted text is going to be this function run with the encrypted string and the number of rails. And then it's going to print out what the decrypted text is. So we're going to save out the script. and then we're going to run the script. So in the end, the script does what it says in the tin, and the decrypted text is, the flag is, where does the fence begin and end? So we grab this output here, then go back to the picoCTF challenge, paste in the flag, and then wrap it with the flag wrapper. So it's picoCTF, and then opening curly brace, and then closing curly brace at the end. Click on submit, and then you're done. All right, so this was a guided walkthrough for the Rail Fence Challenge from the picoCTF platform. If you enjoyed the guided walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on the video and leave a comment below. But until next time, HackerFrogs out.
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button. And if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.